On November 29th, the Chicago Bulls faced off against the Charlotte Hornets. It was a bit of a one-sided game. The Hornets went on a late run, but the Bulls pulled away in an easy double-digit victory. But the game itself was a bit of a sideshow to the Lonzo Ball-LaMelo Ball matchup. Two brothers going toe-to-toe on the biggest stage. For those of us who have brothers, you know something like this is a dream come true. Now, this isn't the first time Lonzo and LaMelo have played each other in the league. They've had two other matchups last season, but this one felt different. Both brothers going blow for blow, shot for shot. Lonzo with his absolutely lockdown defense, and LaMelo being his usual ultra-entertaining, high-octane self. Their parents sitting courtside, watching their children live out their dreams. LiAngelo probably getting up some shots in a nearby gym or something. I don't know. This game was a stark reminder of just how far the Ball brothers have come. From running a small dynasty in Chino Hills back in 2016 to facing off on NBA primetime, with all eyes on them. And this got me thinking, what was the greatest brother duel in NBA history? I mean, there's been quite a few sets of brothers that played in the NBA, so there's gotta be at least one game that stands out from the rest. And I think I found it. Today's video is brought to you by SeatGeek. With live events making a comeback and a new NBA season upon us, SeatGeek is here to get us back in the action. Check this out. Just download the SeatGeek app and use promo code JXMY to get $20 off your first order. SeatGeek makes buying tickets easier than ever with a rating system that lets you know which tickets are a good deal and which tickets are a bad deal. If it's green, that's a banger. You're getting a good deal there. Red? Not so much. I've been using SeatGeek for years. It's simple, it's easy, and it's a surefire way to get the best deal for your tickets. Whether it's a concert, basketball game, football, baseball, festival, SeatGeek's got it all. Download the app, use promo code JXMY, and get $20 off your first order today. Every young hooper's dream is to one day lace up in the NBA. If you're lucky, you might go on to have a good, long career. If you're really fortunate, maybe you'll go on to win a championship or star on your hometown's team. Now, if you're among the extremely select few, you might just be able to suit up in the NBA with your brother. In the entire history of the NBA, there have been 70 sets of brothers to play in the league. From Seth and Steph, to Giannis and Thanasis, to Horace and Harvey. Back in the late 60s and early 70s, there was a pair of brothers named Steve and Nick Jones. Steve and Nick played in the NBA and ABA together for 5 seasons, and somehow they never played against each other even once. Two players you've probably never heard of, Dick and Tom Van Arsdale, are undoubtedly the most competitive and evenly matched brothers in NBA history. Throughout their careers, Tom and Dick played each other a whopping 56 times. For some perspective, Brooke and Robin Lopez have played in the NBA for 13 seasons and have only played each other 25 times. Marcus and Markieff Morris have played in the league for a decade and have only matched up 18 times. During Tom and Dick's 12-year-long NBA career, their numbers looked like this. Nearly identical stats for the identical twins. The brothers were drafted in back-to-back spots in the 1965 draft. They both made the NBA All-Star team 3 times in the same seasons. They both retired on the same day, and after 12 NBA seasons, they somehow played nearly the same exact amount of games. For all the pairs of brothers you're familiar with in the NBA, there's nearly just as many players who have brothers in the NBA that you more than likely didn't even know about. NBA Hall of Famer George Gervin had a brother in the NBA named Derek. The OG GOAT George Mikan had a brother in the NBA named Ed. There was once an NBA player by the name of Dwayne Washington, brother of Derek Fisher. But of the 70 sets of brothers to play in the NBA, one family, at least in my eyes, holds the crown as the best pair of brothers in NBA history. Pau and Marc Gasol. Hailing from Spain, the two brothers had drastically different careers, play styles, peaks, and everything in between. But what they had in common was the great deal of success they both found throughout their NBA careers. Between Pau and Marc, they combined for 3 championships, 9 All-Star selections, 6 All-NBA team selections, a Defensive Player of the Year award, a Rookie of the Year award, over 33,000 points, nearly 18,000 rebounds, and a laundry list of international awards and accomplishments. If there's any image that encapsulates their dominance on the game, it's this one. A picture of both Marc and Pau at the 2015 NBA All-Star Game. The brothers not only made the All-Star team, they both started in the All-Star Game in the same season. Marc for the East and Pau for the West, which means that for a brief moment in time, two brothers were arguably the NBA's best centers. a fact that still blows my mind to this day.
Who would have guessed that someday you guys would be jumping center in the Garden against each other in the NBA All-Star game? It's unbelievable.
Now, if you had to guess how many sets of brothers are in the NBA right now, what would your guess be? 3? 4? Maybe 5? Well, there's actually 9. And of these 9 sets of brothers, I'd have to say that Steph and Seth Curry are probably the best and most accomplished. They've both been in the league for years now, but their best matchup came just 2 weeks ago, when Seth dropped 24 points and Steph put up a 25-point double-double. It was a fun little shootout, but nowhere near the best brother duel the NBA's ever seen. So let's back it up a little bit. Just last season, NBA brothers Drew and Justin Holiday combined for one of the better brotherly games in recent NBA history. On May 13th, in a Bucks vs Pacers matchup, the brothers combined for 46 points, 19 assists, and 9 rebounds on a ridiculous 61% shooting from the field. Big brother Justin put up a better stat line thanks to the 8 3-pointers he knocked down. But Drew and his Bucks would go on to get the victory. If we go back a few seasons ago, we'll find the 2018 Morris Brothers shootout, where Marcus and Markieff Morris put up these numbers against each other in a double overtime thriller, combining for 51 points, 16 rebounds, and 5 assists on 46% shooting from 3. Marcus had the better stat line, but Markieff won the game, a game that I'm sure they'll never forget. But I know we can find a better game. If we stretch way back over 50 years ago, we will find what may just be the best NBA brother duel of all time, by none other than our good friends Dick and Tom Van Arsdale. In a matchup between the Phoenix Suns and the Cincinnati Royals, Dick and Tom would combine for 5 rebounds, 7 assists, and 58 points. The brothers were no stranger to getting the green light, with the two of them shooting a combined 51 shots in the game. Phoenix would get the win, and the Van Arsdale brothers would go on to both make the 1971 NBA All-Star team for their respective conferences, the first set of brothers to ever accomplish this feat. But there's still one game between two NBA brothers that was so incredible, it's hard to believe it even happened. On January 18th, 1988, the Atlanta Hawks were set to face off against a young Patrick Ewing and the New York Knicks. Dominique Wilkins was at the peak of his powers. Patrick Ewing was still young and still growing into the superstar he would eventually become. So on this particular night, the Knicks relied heavily on a different player, a 6'6" shooting guard with freakish athleticism who could create and make his own offense. A powerhouse of a player out of Atlanta named Gerald Wilkins, Dominique's younger brother. Now, Gerald didn't have Dominique's size or strength or superstar status, but he sure did play like his older brother, and he can go and get a bucket like his brother too.
Gerald Wilkins in the backcourt for the Hawks. It'll be Dominique Wilkins, who is third in the league in scoring at 27 points an outing.
Adjustment there by the Knicks.
Good pass ahead by Mark Jackson to Gerald Wilkins. Knicks looking good on that fast break opportunity. Inside for Atlanta, Dominique Wilkins to do a one-on-one move against his younger brother. Gerald with the good defense, but Dominique with the last move and the last word, and Gerald was whistled for a foul, and he doesn't like that, and he gets charged with a technical. Oh, man, good move.
That's how aggressive this rebounding team is. All on easy basket.
Wilkins off the inbounds pass, approach the 8-minute mark of the third quarter. Wilkins coming off the pick. Dominique will go over 3 Knicks, and that's Gerald Wilkins from the left corner. Wilkins with the strong move against Brian Quinnett. Gerald Wilkins over Rasmussen. Ham trying to use McDaniel pick. Goes right and goes strong. One-on-one opportunity. Oh, man.
When Dominique is on a roll, just give him the ball and let him go and score easy points.
Gerald Wilkins from the left corner. 3-point shot. Ball heads down court to Gerald Wilkins. Nice move. Brian Quinnett with the 3-1 opportunity. Knocked away by Dominique. Look out, ladies and gentlemen, because it's showtime at the alley.
In what should have been just another regular season game in the middle of the season, the Wilkins brothers put on an absolute clinic. Combined, the brothers put up 8 assists, 14 rebounds, and 73 points. 73 points. The brothers were lighting each other up, leading both their respective teams in scoring. The best game between two brothers in NBA history. If two NBA superstars face off and score 73 points, it would be an incredible game. But when two brothers do it, it is an absolute anomaly. Or at least it would be for anyone else. But not these brothers, because in their very next meeting, the brothers combined for 58-9. The meeting after that, they combined for 57-20. 2 seasons after that game, Neek and Gerald combined for 9, 12, and 54. And in a 1991 shootout, the brothers combined for 7, 7, and 78. While researching this video, I found that the gold standard for a great brotherly game was about 50 combined points. This has rarely happened in the NBA's 75-year history, and most of the times it did occur, it was between the Wilkins. Because in the 42 games the brothers played each other, they combined for 50-plus points 13 times. A brotherly rivalry that will more than likely never be topped. But the Ball brothers definitely have the potential to put on a show like the Wilkins brothers did. At the rate they're both improving, it's just a matter of time. The newest and most exciting addition to the long list of NBA brothers. Some you've never heard of, others you can't forget. Hope you all enjoyed, and as always, until next time.